Hi, everybody, and welcome to Evolve Love. I am your host, Amanda, and I am so happy that you have found this podcast. Are you looking for daily inspiration, motivation, and wisdom to help you begin your day feeling supported and uplifted with love? Well, you have come to the right place. This podcast is a space of encouragement where you can be held in your self-development because in order to evolve, you need love, and it begins here with you. Now, let's get into today's episode. Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I'm so excited for today's episode, and as always, it just goes with the theme so well. I am not surprised in any way, but so excited to dive into this because I think today is going to be a whole other layer in looking at the concepts around the part of fortune, but within our own bodies, within our own spaces, within our own lives. So if you haven't been here yet for a Wednesday episode, I pull a card on Wednesdays to help guide the message for the Wednesday episode, because being Mercury Day, that is a day of communication and shared information. And I think it's just a beautiful way that we can connect all that we're working with and through with the theme of the week. At the end of the episode, I'll be including some journal prompts, which I'll also add to the show notes so that you can refer back to them, just to help us deepen these thoughts in our own time and in our own words. I mentioned yesterday in our episode around affirmations how important it is to take this work and also put it into your own voice and your own words, because that is the power that is coming from you, not the power that is coming from someone else. And though that can be supportive and helpful, I just want to give that power to you in any way that I can, that you too can find these words within. And that is going to be your soul's words, your soul's importance. So make sure you're doing that. All right, let's get into the card. So today I pulled from the Intuitive Whispers deck by Maude Hirst. I felt really called to do this. I don't know why I do, but today is a moon in Scorpio, and there is something very Scorpio about this deck. The colors, the look, whenever it's a moon in Scorpio, this is the deck I grab, which is really interesting. It could be the intuitive part, where Scorpio, being a water sign, is a very intuitive sign. It could be that. So the card that I pulled was number 7, Wisdom of the Solar Plexus. So if you know anything about the chakra system, the solar plexus is around that gut area and is therefore really connected to the concept of gut instinct, which many people also call our intuition. In the card description, it even goes as far as saying that the solar plexus can be known as our second brain, because it's the place where a lot of our drive, motivation, confidence, and self-power stand and reside. So when we think about the solar plexus as a place, the Pilates teacher in me thinks of it as the powerhouse. So if you take Pilates or teach Pilates, you know what that is all about. But it is this center, it is this core area that ignites the fire within, that then warms and spreads out to the rest of our being. So when we think of the solar plexus element, it is fire, the fire of our center, what we are igniting. And the words that go along with it, the drive, the self-confidence, these are all fiery words. You can also associate the color yellow with it. So how does this have to do with the part of fortune? Because that's what we're talking about this week from our birth chart. Well, when we think about the part of fortune, where we think of our joy, our happiness, our success, our prosperity, our luck, those are all beautiful thoughts, but a lot of these things do not come to us without us putting the work in. If we don't have a belief in self, if we don't have a drive and a motivation to put ourselves into the passions and things that we see for ourselves, luck might not be as easily attracted to us. Prosperity might not come as easy to us, because we have to give out also some of that energy, right? We have to put in the work. We have to give out the energy in order to receive the energy. And this is something that reminds me of like a couple weeks back here on Evolve Love 2. We can't just be expected to take in and take in and take in without giving out. And sometimes that giving out also is just the energy that we put off and set out. So with a part of fortune, we talk about this connection to our willpower, our drive, our self-confidence, to our joy, to our happiness. I'm hoping you can see how these elements are very connected. So with our prosperity that we have in our part of fortune, so much of that comes from the work that the solar plexus inspires and pushes us to do. It is that confidence. It is that bringing us forward in momentum type of energy. So with this area though, the wisdom of the solar plexus, what comes up with this card is also too anxiety. Because anxiety, if you feel that, is a really key symptom, I'll say, to knowing that there is a disconnect with the power of your solar plexus. Many times, if you've ever felt nervous or anxious, you might even get an upset stomach. And this is that body response to the emotion that you are feeling, that something is off, something is not right. And when you think about it, in moments of anxiousness, in moments of nervousness, there's so much uncertainty that you don't have your confidence. You don't have this desire to go ahead. Instead, your desire is to retreat, to pull back. You might even have some fear in there. So this card is coming up to remind us to trust our inner knowing, to trust ourselves, to trust our confidence, and to lean on the elements of that part of fortune in your chart. How can you work with that energy that is with that? What does your part of fortune say about you? Say about you as an individual, because this is what is going to help to drive you forward in the places where you may feel best suited for or best fit for. Now, other ways that you might feel your solar plexus out of balance may include feeling low self-esteem, feeling low about yourself, feeling a lack of motivation, not wanting to do anything, not wanting to take on any projects. And also, to the flip side of this, if your solar plexus is really overactive, you might feel aggressive, almost like pompous. I want to say like big-headed. You might feel stubborn. These are in ways almost lower frequency type of feelings. They are, a little bit more intense than the out of balance side of things, but you can see how they're like two different sides of intensities. You have a really low intensity and then a really high intensity. So in today, we're going to really focus on this, because tomorrow, our exercise on Thursday for our expansion work is going to help us to connect further with the solar plexus and where we're at. But first today, we need to understand where we are at with it. So we are diving into the wisdom that the solar plexus provides us with, just like the card is saying. So here are our journal prompts to help us dive into this further. The first one is, do you feel a low state of balance with your solar plexus, or do you feel overactive in this zone? So do you feel out of balance, like in a lower state? Or do you feel overactive? And in the same way too, do you feel balanced here? Do you feel like even keel? Do you feel okay? And with this too, what areas of your life feel this? So are there areas of your life that feel low vibe? Are there areas of your life that feel intense and overactive? Are there areas of your life that feel balanced? So you could create a list of this. You could kind of just maybe create 3 different lists of these concepts and start just filling in, where in life does this feel this way? And, kind of separate it like that. Okay. Now, the second question is, what do you feel called to do to balance instinctually? So what is your instinct to feel more balanced? What is it that you feel called to do to find that balance? And the reason why I wanted to do this is because in tomorrow, I'm going to provide some different ideas to help us feel like more connected and feel balanced with this center. But I think that it's really important for us to give us the power of knowing instinctually what is coming up for us. Because if you are feeling out of balance and you really think into it and you connect with it, I bet your intuition, actually, I know your intuition is spot on with it. So for you, like you might feel that grounding is really important for you. Whereas for somebody else, they might need movement. They might need to walk. Maybe they need an adventure. Maybe they need to change up their whole day and throw their to-do list out the window. Whatever it is, what do you feel instinctually to balance this? And tomorrow I'll provide some other ideas too. But today we are just getting the thought process going on this. Because with the solar plexus, finding our balance, that is also in turn going to affect those part of fortune elements of our life. Our prosperity, our success, our joy, our happiness is going to look different when we help to put in the work to feel more balanced in these different areas. I hope today's episode inspired you. I hope today's episode really brought some new ideas into our thought process around all of this. And I'm so grateful, so grateful for you being here. Please make sure you're following me over on my Instagram at _evolve_love so you get all the information of new things and ideas and posts and all the announcements is over there. So make sure you follow. And if you feel called to rate or review this podcast or share it with a friend, that is so helpful too, because my hope is that anyone who needs this message will receive it and that it will help them. So I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your Wednesday, and I will check back with you tomorrow.